Okay, so let's dive into something that landed on our desk. It's a press release from Eon Reality, and it feels, well, quite urgent.
Urgent is definitely the
Yeah.
word.
Yeah.
The core message here, it's a pretty stark warning, actually, about significant disruption coming for white-collar jobs.
Right. Driven by AI.
Exactly. And the time frame they're giving. It's not some distant future thing.
No, they're pinpointing it, aren't they? Like, between 2029 and 2031 for this disruption to really hit hard?
Which is, basically 4 or 5 years from now. It's soon.
It really is. So, okay, our mission today, let's try and pull out the key insights from this source. What exactly are they warning about? And importantly, what do they suggest we actually do?
Yeah, what's the plan? Because this is super relevant if you're listening. We're talking a major potential shift in the job market. Lots of professions.
Yours, potentially. And source is basically saying, look, there's a deadline approaching, not much time to prepare.
They really are sounding the alarm. Eon Reality uses phrases like imminent and existential disruption, specifically for, traditional knowledge work, white-collar jobs.
And locking it into that 2029-2031 window, they literally say, I think, 4 or 5 years to completely rewire careers. That's
right.
Quite a statement.
It is. And it gets to the heart of the problem they see. They kind of break it down into 2 main challenges. First one is accelerated job displacement.
Okay, let's unpack that a bit. So AI actively replacing human roles.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
They point to areas like analysis, administration, basic research, routine decision-making, stuff like that.
Why those specifically?
Well, the argument is AI is just getting so efficient at these tasks. Faster, maybe more accurate in some cases. So those jobs either vanish or change completely.
Okay, so jobs lost. But, the classic argument is technology creates new jobs too. Did they talk about that?
They do. And that's the second, maybe more worrying part, insufficient job replacement. Meaning, Eon Reality argues that, yes, some new AI-related jobs will pop up, but just not fast enough or not enough of them to balance out the ones being lost.
Oh, okay.
So they predict a net negative employment effect, at least for a while, for these kinds of white-collar roles.
Okay.
A mismatch between jobs lost and jobs gained.
And the speed is key here, right? They emphasize this isn't like past tech shifts.
Exactly. They say the time frames are compressed to an unprecedented degree. Past revolutions took decades. This, they're saying, is happening in just a few years.
Wow.
And their warning is pretty blunt. If you wait until 2029 to start thinking about changing your career, it'll be too late to adapt effectively.
Okay, so that's the challenge. Big, fast-moving. What's the proposed solution then? They can't just leave it there, right?
No, they position this as an opportunity, too. They talk about transforming the crisis using 2 specific AI-powered platforms they've developed.
Right, okay. What's the first one?
The first is called the Eon N Career Compass. Sort of like it sounds, it's meant to help people navigate towards future-proof careers, as they put it.
Okay, future-proof. How does it actually guide someone? What are the features?
Well, the source mentions a few key things. It starts with a hyper-personalized AI assessment. So think of it like AI analyzing your specific skills, your aptitudes, even interests, and then mapping out potential career paths that are less likely to be automated away. And identifying the skills you'd actually need for those paths, like a custom roadmap.
And I saw something about immersive XR skill development. That sounds interesting, going beyond just reading about things.
Yeah, XR extended reality. So virtual reality, augmented reality. The platform uses this for hands-on experience via simulations.
Like practicing things.
Exactly. Practicing complex tasks, maybe troubleshooting, even working on soft skills, but in a safe virtual space before you do it for real. The claim is this massively speeds up learning new in-demand skills, skills that work with AI, not against it.
That practical side sounds crucial. It also mentions real-time market intelligence, keeping you updated on valuable skills and guidance on strategic career repositioning. So it's about finding where human skills fit best.
Precisely. Leveraging things like creativity, complex problem-solving, empathy, ethical judgment, stuff AI struggles with, finding roles where AI tools enhance those human skills rather than replacing the person.
Okay, that's the career compass. But they also argued just finding a new job might not be enough because of that net negative effect. So platform number 2.
Right, that's the EON Entrepreneur Guide. This one's different. It's aimed at helping people become creators of the new economy, basically build their own role.
Instead of just looking for one. Okay, how does that work? What does it offer?
It includes AI-powered business ideation. And they mentioned this really unique feature, a photorealistic AI mentor called Brainy.
Brainy? A photorealistic AI mentor? Seriously?
Apparently so. Yeah, the idea is Brainy helps you identify market gaps, brainstorm business ideas, work through initial planning. Definitely memorable, like you said.
It certainly is. What else does the Entrepreneur Guide do?
It guides people towards developing purpose-driven ventures. So businesses aligned with personal passions, but also solving actual real-world problems. And it offers an accelerated launch pathway support and tools from idea right through to launch.
And there's a community aspect, too.
Yeah, building a community-driven innovation network, focusing on, human-centered businesses, which fits their overall theme.
Okay. And throughout this, the source keeps stressing this urgency. Why now? Why is waiting bad?
They hammer this point home. They quote their chairman, Dan Lajerskar, saying basically, those who start recalibrating now will lead tomorrow. Those who wait, they'll be struggling to catch up in a totally different job market.
And it's not just about taking an online course here and there. They explicitly say half measures and traditional continuing education approaches will prove inadequate.
Right. The scale and speed of the change they predict. It demands something more fundamental, they argue, needs to happen in these next 4 or 5 years.
They even have some comparisons in the source, right, showing the difference between old ways and their approach.
They do, yeah. A couple are quite striking. Let's take skill development itself. Traditional method, often classroom-based, theoretical, maybe slow, limited hands-on time.
Standard university or training course model.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Contrast that with their immersive XR approach. They claim it's accelerated, practical learning through doing simulations, risk-free practice, immediate feedback, building skills faster.
Okay, that makes intuitive sense. Learning by doing. What about learning retention? That was a big claim.
Huge claim. They cite traditional retention rates at maybe 10–20%. Passive learning, lectures.
Yeah, we've all zoned out in those.
Right. But they claim XR immersion boosts retention to over 80%. Because it's active, experiential, you're applying it immediately, even building muscle memory. It just sticks better, supposedly.
80% plus. Wow. That is a big difference, if accurate. And that leads to time to proficiency, I guess.
Connects directly. Traditional training, they say, often 6 to 24 months to get proficient.
Whereas their claim.
3–6 months, accelerated learning. Because it's integrated, personalized, hands-on from the start. This whole comparison really drives home their point. Old methods might be too slow for the AI wave they see coming.
Got it. And finally, who are they talking to here? It's not just individuals, is it?
No, their call to action is broader. It targets individual professionals, definitely, but also corporate leaders, educational institutions, and even government agencies, a sort of collective call for preparation.
Okay, so let's try and summarize this deep dive then. We've looked closely at this Eon Reality press release.
Focusing on their really quite urgent warning about rapid AI disruption to white-collar work, potentially hitting hard between 2029 and 2031.
And we explored their specific proposed solutions, these platforms, the Eon Career Compass for helping individuals reskill and reposition.
And the Eon Entrepreneur Guide for empowering people to actually create new ventures, new roles in this shifting economy they foresee.
So this has been one specific, quite strong perspective on a potentially huge shift. A shift, this source insists, requires rethinking career paths, maybe much sooner than many of us thought.
Yeah, it's definitely food for thought.
Which leads to maybe a final thought for you listening. Given this prediction of massive, fast change in just the next 4 or 5 years, what specific skills, or maybe even just approaches or mindsets, do you personally think will be the most valuable for people to cultivate? Regardless of, whatever specific tools or platforms end up being used, what's truly essential for navigating what might be coming? Something to think about.